So, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here today for this 1 hour session about managing mental health and resilience, specifically for chefs and the challenges that chefs face professionally and personally regarding stress, burnout, anxiety, and depression. So just a few things before we get started, just some introductions. So I'm Kate from Amandine. I'm the founder of Amandine. And Hannah, who is also working for Amandine, is here. Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
Hannah's going to be managing the chat. So if because obviously you'll notice that you can't talk on this session. So if you've got any questions or any comments, then please feel free to use the chat, and Hannah will be monitoring that as we go along. If you have specific questions for me or for Callie, then please ask your questions there. What we'll probably do is wait until the end to answer the questions. We will answer what we can within the time that we have. But if we don't answer your question, then we will get back to you later on directly and personally to make sure that we respond to you. And then, of course, we have Callie, the lovely Callie Cooper. Hello, Callie, who's our professional mental health and performance coach, who's really going to be running the show today, as it were, because this is really her remit. But before I hand over to Callie, I just wanted to just highlight the fact of why we're doing this. Obviously, it's a really important subject. I mean, I hope you all agree, and that's why you're here today. This is a subject that luckily is being talked about more openly, more and more than it ever has before. But I don't feel that's still enough. And therefore, this is just one small thing that we're doing to try and help change that. And hopefully in the past, you'll see more things that we're doing also with Callie to support mental health amongst chefs and in the industry. So Amandine Chefs, for those of you that do or don't know us, clearly our main goal, our main objective is to find chefs jobs. You would not be wrong in thinking that is what we do. But it has been my personal goal since I set up the company to not just stop at finding you a job. It's about more than that for us. It's about finding you a job that makes you happy. And anyone that knows me and has talked to me, I always tell chefs, for me, if you're not happy in a job, then life is too short. It's just not worth it. So I think that it's, part of our role is to find you not just a job, but a job that makes you really, really happy. And if you're happy in your job, that is some way towards being happy and healthy and, having healthy mental, being healthy mentally and having good well-being. But it's not really enough just to be happy in a job, because I think that you can have the best job in the world and the dream job, you're still going to have pressures, you're still going to have stressful situations, some of them avoidable, some of them unavoidable. And we are acutely aware, speaking to chefs every day, of the pressures that you face in your job and the stress that that can cause, and that if it's not dealt with properly or you don't know how to deal with it, that's when it can turn into bigger problems and bigger issues and lead to burnout or anxiety or depression. So, in a nutshell, that's why we're doing what we're doing today. And that's why we've teamed up with Callie, who is Callie from WellCrew, who is really the industry's leading health and performance coach in the yacht industry, but not just, she doesn't just provide her services for crew. She also works a lot with shoreside professionals. And she is more than aptly qualified to do what she does. I asked Callie if she could just send me a quick overview of, her background and training, and it was like, oh wow, okay, so here we go. Callie is trained in life coaching, nutrition, neuro-linguistic programming, mental health mental health in the workplace, hypnotherapy, and psychometric profiling. So, she is more than qualified to be an amazing coach. But in addition to all of that, she has got some incredible and really interesting experience helping all sorts of companies and all sorts of people. But I'm just going to pick out a few of those examples because I think it's really relevant in the context of chefs, because she has worked and delivered performance coaching for the military and also for top athletes. And I think her experience, therefore, really understanding professions that are people in professions with a lot of pressure, that are working under enormous pressure. That is something that Callie really fully understands and has a lot of experience in. In addition to all of that, she's also a bit of an amazing person because she's done all sorts of things, like she's led a team of women up Everest on skis, led by the military. I mean, God, heaven forbid, you'd never find me doing something like that. But so I think she's undergone a few of her own personal challenges, mental challenges as well, doing that, I'm sure. But yeah, so she's great, and that's why we've teamed up with her. But in addition to that experience, she's also been working over the last couple of years with quite a lot of chefs, some chef clients individually, but also with a team of chefs, actually a fleet of yachts and the whole of their galley team. And through that, she has some very interesting insights that I think she's going to be sharing with us today. And it also means that the next hour, if we've got that, I need to hurry up because it will be less than an hour now, but the next sort of 50 minutes that Callie is going to be talking to us, in the hints, the tips, the advice that she can give you is really tailored towards you as a chef because of all of that experience and that insight that she has. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to now hand over to Callie and let her tell you all the interesting stuff. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate, for such a warm welcome. It's wonderful to have you, Hannah, managing the chat, and everyone here today. I'm excited to dive into our session and discuss mental health and resilience building, and building on what Kate beautifully highlighted. I've seen the physiological data, and I'll be sharing that with you later, from clients who are chefs. I've witnessed firsthand the stress this role can place on your bodies. This is what fuels my passion for providing practical tools and strategies to help you manage stress and support your mental health. So, what exactly is mental health? Mental health refers to our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, act, as well as how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Good mental health is essential for overall well-being and performance, especially in demanding professions like being a chef. So let's dive a little bit deeper and look at anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of worry or fear that can be mild or severe, sometimes accompanied by heart beating, that rapid heartbeat, or sweating. The high pressure environment of a busy kitchen, of a busy yacht galley, the tight deadlines, the need for perfection can provoke anxiety. It's common to feel anxious before service or when those multiple tasks that you do. Depression is a persistent feeling of sadness, loss of interest, and low energy that affects daily functioning. Those long hours, physical exhaustion, and high stress situations can contribute to feelings of depression. The demanding nature of your work can sometimes lead to isolation or feelings of inadequacy, contributing to depression. Stress. Today, we're focused more on stress because it's crucial for our mental health. Stress affects mood, it can lead to anxiety and depression, and impacts physical health. It's also important to understand that stress is the body's response to a demanding situation, which can be positive. It's what drives us to do what we do, motivates action, but it also can be negative, making us feel overwhelmed. Too much negative stress over a prolonged period, known as chronic stress, impairs emotional regulation, behavior, and overall quality of life. Therefore, managing stress is essential for maintaining mental resilience. We know that chronic stress from long shifts, customer and guest expectations, the high stakes can lead to burnout if not managed properly. So, what is burnout? Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress and overwork. The intense, often unpredictable environments of kitchens and yacht galleys, those early mornings, late nights, physical labour can cause burnout, leading to health and mental health issues. Everyone here knows how you are operating in a high stress environment that demands precision, creativity, stamina. So recognizing these mental health challenges is vital for maintaining well-being and performance. And by encouraging this open dialogue, self-care and support systems like what WellCrew offers, but also the other services and the helplines available that I know Hannah's going to put into the group chat now. This can help manage stress, prevent burnout, and support your mental health. We know that many chefs experience feelings of anxiety, burnout, and fatigue. These are common in demanding kitchens and yacht galleys in those environments. The good news is understanding what's happening in your body can empower you to manage these feelings more effectively. As I mentioned earlier, and the reason why this webinar is so important for you stems from data I've seen like this one. And I think Hannah's going to share with you now. So here you can see the first data from one of my clients when he initially started working with me on my health and performance optimization program. We used a clinical grade ECG to collect his physiological data. As you can see, most of his readings are in the red zone. You can see the intensity of stress and the prolonged duration of this stress. And if this was left unaddressed and went on day after day, month after month, it could have led to burnout and potentially mental health issues. So I'll explain exactly what's going on here. Our body's stress response is controlled by the nervous system, which has two main parts. The sympathetic nervous system, and this is responsible for that the fight and flight response, that fight or flight response. When this is activated, it makes us feel alert, tense, anxious, and ready to react. And you can see this represented by all the red areas in the graph. The parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation, recovery, and digestion, you can see this is reflected in the green areas in this graph. Think of it like a dimmer switch. Sometimes you need to turn up the stress to get through a busy service. Other times you need to turn down to rest and recover. In high pressure environments like a kitchen or a yacht galley, your nervous system can get stuck in a state of hyper arousal, constantly feeling anxious, jittery, or overwhelmed. This state is often visible in the graph as prolonged red zones. On the other hand, it can also swing the other way, hypoarousal, leaving you feeling numb, drained, or disinterested. Neither state is healthy long term, and both can impair your focus, mood, and energy. Have you ever felt your heart racing during a busy shift, a busy lunch, a busy dinner service, or felt completely exhausted afterward? That's your nervous system at work. When I analyze the data, I also look at heart rate variability, HRV, which measures how well your nervous system can adapt to stress and relaxation. So it can adapt to that. It can move from the stress to the relaxation state. A higher HRV indicates your body can shift smoothly between these states, demonstrating resilience and flexibility. Think of HRV as a finely tuned instrument. High HRV, less reactive to stress, and with a better capacity to recover. Maintaining good HRV can help protect you from chronic stress and burnout. And this is what we work on together in the Health and Performance Optimization Program. So just going back to this data, you can see that it clearly illustrates a chef whose nervous system remains in the red zone, hyper aroused most of the time. The sympathetic system stays switched on, leaving little room for recovery via the parasympathetic system. Without this balance, the body remains in a heightened state of stress, which over time can contribute to burnout, fatigue, anxiety, and overall declines in well-being. Understanding how your nervous system functions is the first step. By learning to shift from this constant stressed state into a more relaxed and restorative one, you can better manage anxiety, improve focus, and support your mental health. So let's explore practical strategies and tools to help you shift from that sympathetic nervous system to your parasympathetic nervous system, to help you shift from that stress state into the recovery state and support your mental health. But first, I want to ask a simple but powerful question. How many of you know that you need a mental health check-in right now? When we look at mental health, it is crucial to have regular mental health check-ins. Just like when we get our bloods done, our blood tests, we visit the dentist, we get those physical health checks. Our mental health requires the same attention. And the truth is, many of us, especially in the demanding world of kitchens and galleys, are carrying more stress and pressure than ever before. We carry it for longer. We move so fast that sometimes we don't even realize how heavy it's become. Because we're so busy, we may not recognize how hard it's affecting us or those around us. Yet, the more we ignore it, the harder it becomes to function at our best, not just as chefs, but as partners, parents, friends, and human beings. Regular mental health check-ins can prevent larger issues down the line, just like regular checkups keeps your bodies healthy. So let's ask ourselves a question, checking in with ourselves right now. How am I feeling? Are you feeling stressed, tired, or overwhelmed? Just acknowledge where you're at. Being aware is the first step toward change. And many of us, we tend to keep these feelings in the background, but this makes it difficult to shift and improve. Next, ask yourself, what do I need today? Is it a short break, a moment to pause, a glass of water, a simple stretch, or a healthy snack? Remember, it's okay to prioritize yourself. What you need might be simple, but it's essential. And yes, often when we ask these questions, it can bring up anxiety. That's normal. But here's the truth. Avoiding your needs only makes that anxiety grow stronger. It's like ignoring hunger until it becomes unbearable. Instead, address it, feel the discomfort, and take action. Whether it's some deep breaths, getting outside, even for a moment to feel the sun on your face. Small steps can make a significant difference. And yes, it's uncomfortable to prioritize ourselves. Many of us have been conditioned to focus on others' needs first. Our work, our family, our team. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. So please check in with yourself. Honestly ask, how am I feeling? Decide what you need to feel better and take that action. Next, another important question is, what have I been worrying about lately? And even more critically, is it something I can control? This is the real game changer because often we worry about things outside our control, world events, others, other people's reactions and their actions, the situations we can't change. If we're worrying about something we can control, then we need to take the steps to change it. But if it's outside of our control, then it's vital to remind ourselves, let go, let go. Reframing how we see our worries helps us in that spinning of anxiety. So ask yourself, am I truly in charge of this worry? Is it mine to fix? If yes, what's the next step to change it? If not, then the best thing you can do is release it. Trust that it is out of your hands. This awareness about control helps us conserve energy and focus on what truly matters, building the resilience, finding that peace and clarity, recognizing what is within our power and what isn't allows us to direct your efforts more effectively and reduce unnecessary mental strain. And finally, I would like you to ask yourself, what am I doing to bring myself joy this week? Are you getting outside in the sunlight, spending time with loved ones, whether in person or on FaceTime? What activities are you engaging in that make you smile? Are you allowing yourself moments of kindness, treating yourself even in the small ways? It's so important to intentionally choose joy because our mental health needs it. Joy is a vital part of self-care. Don't neglect it. Remember, taking care of your mental health, it isn't a one-time task. It's a daily practice. When you check in with yourself, acknowledge your feelings, release what you can't control, and intentionally pursue joy. You're cultivating a healthier, more balanced life, especially important in the high pressure environments you operate in. Now, do do you know what causes your strong emotional reactions, that stress, that anxiety, what your triggers are? Awareness of our triggers can profoundly transform how we manage everyday chaos, frustration, and stress. One common challenge is how we relate to our triggers. How often we hope they just disappear, or we could avoid them altogether. But this approach isn't effective. Waiting for triggers to just vanish isn't healthy. Instead, our relationship with them is what matters. True growth begins when we understand that our triggers are a normal part of being a human being. The real question is, how do we handle them? Do we face them consciously, or do they control us? Ask yourself, how am I carrying what I carry? Are you holding on to stress, frustration, or exhaustion? It's not just about what you're carrying, but how you carry it. So start with awareness. When do you feel your blood begin to boil? When does your frustration rise? Recognize these moments. For example, do you get triggered when someone cuts you off in the kitchen, the galley, or when expectations aren't met? Once aware, you can choose how to respond instead of reacting impulsively. And a really helpful technique is to pause and take a deep breath, creating space between the trigger and your reaction so that it gives you that time to ask yourself, what's really going on here? Am I hungry? Am I overwhelmed? Or is there a deeper concern? By identifying the root cause, you can respond more intentionally. If you're exhausted, maybe you need a moment to regroup. If frustration stems from miscommunication, calm, clarity, and dialogue can help de-escalate the situation. Remember, it's not about suppressing your feelings, but observing them without judgment, allowing a pause that leads to a healthier response. Again, accept that triggers are normal, but the crucial question is, how do you respond? Identify your triggers. When does your irritation and impatience show up for you? Take a 24-hour stress audit. Observe your triggers, write them down. This can really, really help. Recognize these signals because they're the small sparks that reveal internal stress and exhaustion. What does your internal reaction look like? Is your jaw tightening? Do your thoughts race? Does anger simmer beneath the surface? We know that often these feelings stay internal, quietly simmering. Instead of reacting impulsively, practice pausing, respond thoughtfully, not on autopilot. And we all know this can be challenging because once we're triggered, our instinct, it often takes over in ways that escalate stress. For example, a rude comment might provoke frustration or retort, adding to the mental weight we carry. But what if instead you paused, took a deep breath, and responded with intention? That simple shift can make a significant difference. Do you know how you usually react when someone pushes your button? Think about the last time someone really pushed your buttons. Were you in a good mood or overwhelmed? So just imagine being in a great mood. Imagine you've just had some great news. Would you react better? your good mood, it can carry you through those minor irritations without losing your temper when you're already overwhelmed and exhausted. Those small triggers can feel much larger and much heavier and harder to manage. That's why strengthening your inner resilience is so important. When you nurture a calm, centered state through breathing, awareness, that moment to pause, it creates a buffer against external chaos and those internal reactions. And this isn't about achieving perfection. It's about gradually developing the skill to respond with intention instead of reacting impulsively. By recognizing your triggers and choosing how you respond, you reclaim control over your mental and emotional well-being. And over this time, it can really transform stress. It can transform how you experience the chaos of the kitchen, the galley, and beyond. You begin seeing triggers as opportunities for growth, not as crisis to simply survive. And remember, the goal isn't to eliminate triggers. That's impossible. The real aim is to change your relationship with them. So your responses become deliberate, calm, and purposeful. That's where genuine resilience starts. So, how can you create that pause? You could try mindfulness. Mindfulness is a mental practice that involves maintaining a moment by moment awareness of your thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surroundings without judgment. It's about having acceptance of the present moment. And mindfulness can be practiced through various techniques, meditation, breathing exercises, body scans, and mindful observation. It really is a powerful tool to improve mental clarity and focus. A few of my favorite mindfulness practices are controlled breathing. Controlled breathing, it's so powerful. When stress builds, try inhaling through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2, then slowly exhale for 6. 6 seconds through your mouth. So let's do it together right now. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you feel? Maybe more calm or centered. Another practice is progressive muscle relaxation. Progressive muscle relaxation is where you tense and then release different muscle groups. You take a deep breath in, begin to tense, hold for a moment, and then slowly exhale and relax. And as you do this, it's really important to focus on the sensation of tension and relaxation. So let's try it. So begin by tensing the muscles in your feet, in your toes, by curling them tightly. Hold this tension just for a few seconds and then release. Feel the tension melt away as you relax. Work your way up your body, tense, hold, and relax. Clench your fists tightly. Hold, and then relax. Raise your shoulders towards your ears, creating tension. Hold, and then let them drop and fully relax. Scrunch your face. You can squeeze your eyes. You can wrinkle up your nose. Tighten your jaw. Try it. Hold and let go of all your facial muscles. Now take a few deep breaths, feeling your body become more relaxed with each exhale. Notice any remaining tension and allow it to release. Releasing tension can create real sense of relief. And you can use this during those small breaks to physically ease stress. A favorite among my chef clients is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding exercise. So what you do, you pause for a moment and you focus on your surroundings. 5 things you can see. Look around and identify different objects, different details, the color of your ingredients, utensils, workspace, people. 4 things you can hear. Listen really carefully to 4 sounds. The sizzle of a pan, the sound of chopping, music playing, background noise. Then 3 things you can feel and notice these 3 sensations. The texture of a knife handle, the warmth of a hot dish, the coolness of a countertop. 2 things you can smell. Take a deep breath and identify 2 scents: herbs, spices, freshly baked bread. And 1 thing you can taste. Briefly notice any lingering taste, or simply focus on the fact that you can't taste anything. Take a deep breath and notice how this shifts your focus. Even a minute of this practice can reduce stress, sharpen your focus. And the final one, which is very quick and very, very powerful. It's basically just taking another deep breath, closing down the eyes, and repeating a calming phrase like, I can handle this, I'm okay, this will pass. These tools build up resilience over time, and when they help, when you're triggered, when you want to shift that nervous system state, it can reduce that feeling of stress and anxiety. It can help prevent burnout. It can improve teamwork and helps you stay clear under pressure. And let's not forget the other important essentials for good mental health: hydration, nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Staying hydrated, it keeps you focused and sharp. while a balanced, nutritious food fuels both your mind and your body. And during those long shifts, it can be tempting to reach for sugary snacks and caffeine, but these can disrupt your energy levels. So instead, opt for energizing snacks and drinks to stay hydrated. And electrolytes are key actually here. They're really important. And since you all often stand for long periods of times and perform repetitive motions, incorporating targeted exercises can make a huge difference. So the core work to improve posture and reduce back pain, cardio to boost stamina, flexibility, yoga or dynamic stretches to prevent injuries or ease muscle tension, and strength and resistance exercises to build that endurance. And the last one that's for good mental health, very important, sleep is vital. Though I know it can be tough with irregular hours and that high stress, but when you do go to bed, when you do go to sleep, the key is to focus on transitioning into recovery rather than staying in that stress state. And I work with clients, we develop personalized strategies for this. We improve sleep hygiene. Sometimes it could be that I create sleep hypnosis for clients. And this will help to achieve those restful sleep and support both mental and physical recovery. Now, let me ask you something. How many of you know you need a mental health plan? Raise your hand, give me a thumbs up if that's true. It's something we all need. Something that supports us through the busy, often chaotic world of the kitchen and galley. Today, I want to share with you how you can create a simple, effective mental health plan that you can stick to every single day. And here's what I want your mental health plan to look like. Every day, ask yourself, what was the highlight of my day? And don't just think about it, write it down on a small post-it note or in a journal. You could even put the notes somewhere close on your fridge or your worktop or even in a jar. And at the end of the year, you could look back and see those highlights. Why is this so important? Why do this? Because you're training your mind to look for something healthy, something good. You're not ignoring the bad stuff, but you're consciously choosing to recognize that there's also good, even on those tough days. This this isn't about forcing positivity or pretending everything's perfect. It's about rewiring your brain to notice the good that's always there, sometimes hidden beneath the noise of negativity. And let's be real, our brains are wired for negativity. It's the default mode, it's the survival mechanism from way back. But now we're in a different world. We can train ourselves to shift our focus. Think about how often you have come home or gone to your cabin after a busy shift, after the dinner service, and immediately started criticizing the service, your co-workers, or what didn't go perfectly. It's so easy to spot the obvious problems. That's the lazy, automatic thought pattern. But here's the question. Are we training our mind to identify what went well in those moments? Or are we just focused on what didn't? The obvious feedback, that's easy. It's what everyone notices. The service was slow, the timing was off, so and so was miserable. That's the obvious stuff. But the real skill is to recognize the not obvious, those subtle, less predictable, less obvious moments where something unexpectedly positive happened. Maybe someone on your team jumped in to help, or you noticed a small act of kindness. It's easy to point out the negative because our brain is trained to do just that. But the challenge and the real mental health boost is to spot the good, the unobvious, even when it's not immediately clear. Again, this isn't about ignoring the negatives. It's about training your mind to see both the obvious and unobvious positives, the hidden highlights that often go unnoticed. So here's a practical tip. When you do your mental health check-in, ask yourself, what's one thing I saw today that no one else might have not even noticed? Or the one thing that went right? Again, the goal isn't about perfection or ignoring reality. It's to train your mind to see the unexpected good, not just the obvious. Think of it this way. If your mind tends to focus on the loudest, most obvious problems, you're always trying to find fault. Instead, practice looking for the not so obvious, those tiny wins, the small acts of kindness, the moments of calm amidst chaos. Remember your mental health plan, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a simple daily practice. Asking yourself about the highlight, writing it down, and training your mind to look for the good can make a huge difference. And remember, and this is important, please be patient with yourself. Your brain is just doing what it's designed to do, spot danger, focus on problems. But now you're rewiring it. You're training it to see positive. And that's a powerful move towards mental resilience. So I encourage you, start today, make that mental health highlight part of your daily routine. And over time, you'll notice how your perspective shifts. You'll begin to see more good, more small wins, even on the toughest days. And here's the thing. This isn't, again, this isn't about denying those struggles. It's about building a balanced mindset, acknowledging challenges, but also celebrating the positives. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And that resilience, that ability to feel good amid chaos, that's what's going to help sustain you in the kitchen, in the galley, and beyond. And I also recommend including a weekly reflection into your mental health plan. This is essential. It's an essential step for maintaining mental health and staying on track. So ask yourself, what have what do I have coming up this week? What do I have coming up this week? How do I feel about it? What can I do to prepare better? And taking the time each week to assess these upcoming commitments, your mindset, your readiness, really helps you s stay proactive rather than reactive. It allows you to rest, adjust, and approach your week with clarity, reduce feelings of stress and overwhelm that can really build up unnoticed. Next, consider a monthly and quarterly review. Set aside time and evaluate your progress. Did you meet your goals? What adjustments are necessary? And every quarter, step back, review the larger direction. Are you moving towards what truly matters to you? What are your core values? What do you care about achieving this year? What are you willing to prioritize or let go of to support your goals, to support your mental health? So, what are you committed to starting today? How will you incorporate these small daily reflections into your routine? Remember, small, consistent actions, they create lasting change. So begin by choosing one new habit. Maybe it's the mental check-in, a breathing exercise, when feeling triggered, a new workout, or an evening review of your week, and build from there. Over time, these habits will rewire your mindset, helping you see the positives, manage stress better, and strengthen your resilience, even in chaos. And as a final golden nugget, because this is really simple to remember, and it brings everything together really, really nicely, try incorporating grit, grit into your mental health resilience plan. And what does grit stand for? Gratitude, reflect on those daily things that you're thankful for, a moment of calm, a personal achievement, reflection, that resilience, review setbacks as opportunities for growth. Make a challenge just makes you stronger. Those challenges make you stronger. Integrity. What do you value? Honor yourself. What do you need? Trust. Believe in your skills, your team, and the process. Building trust creates safety during tough times. Trust in your capacity to care for your mental health as much as you do your physical health. When you prioritize well-being, everything, your work, your relationships, your life overall improves. And as we come to the end of this webinar, I just want to thank you once again for being here. I sincerely hope you've gained some knowledge, discovered a new tool, or encountered a thought-provoking question that you can carry with you. And even if it's just this final message that really resonates with you, I hope it inspires you to show up for yourself and others just a little bit more. So be a little kinder to the world and to yourself. Even when life challenges seem overwhelming, practice a bit more compassion. When judgment creeps in, offer forgiveness, not just to others, but to yourself. Be a little more encouraging toward yourself and those around you. Everyone needs somebody to believe in them. If we struggle to provide this love and kindness to ourselves, it becomes nearly impossible to offer it freely to others. When someone makes a mistake, we might get angry, but often we're really angry at ourselves for not being perfect. When someone snaps at us, we might snap at them back. It's because we haven't given the understanding and patience to ourselves that we deserve. The truth is you can't change yourself with guilt and finger pointing. True transformation happens through learning, through the support and compassion toward yourself and others. And that's why I'm so passionate about the mindset and behavioral profiling. It forms the foundation of the health and performance optimization program. And it's a tool that really helps you learn yourself, understand your unique mindset and behavioral style, how you view the world, how you show up, what drives you, your natural strengths, and how to get the best out of you. It reveals your performance preference, and this shows you your stresses, what really pushes your buttons. It also helps you learn to build resilience, to build confidence, how to recharge your energy and make decisions under pressure to help you perform at your best. Because at the end of the day, high performance and lasting change starts from understanding yourself. You've got this. We've got this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Callie, for that. Amazing. I think everyone agrees. We've had lots of you probably haven't been paying attention, but lots of people have been saying how interesting it's been, and thank you. And so yeah, that was really insightful and useful, I think. And just a quick word on the profiling that Callie was talking about. With this, it's called a mindset and behavior profile because it establishes through various questions you get asked, it establishes what is your natural mindset, and what is the way you behave naturally. And some of the it's a really interesting exercise to do because it's a bit of a like kind of opening a door into your own self. I mean, part of it you're not surprised by, but the other part, but since doing it, because I've obviously done it myself, it's shed enormous amount of clarity on all sorts of things that I do or decisions that I make, because I kind of keep going back to it and I'm like, oh, that makes sense because I'm this person and I behave in this way. And it's and so funny enough, when I decided to do the profiling with Callie, I did it in the context of professionally. I wanted to do it professionally. But I think what's really important to know, even though we're all talking about you as chefs and the pressures you face at work, what I found hugely interesting about that profiling tool was that uh, um, can everybody hear me, by the way? Yes, okay, because I've just come up with this message saying unmute yourself. Um, so yeah, so when I did this tool for me professionally, I realized actually there were so many scenarios that I could see it helping and it being insightful for me in my personal life, whether that was with my husband or with my children or with my friends. Because really it's just about you. It's not you at work or you at home. And I think that it's just it's important, everything that Callie is saying today. Obviously, we recognize the pressures you face as chefs, but all of these tools can be used in any scenario. It doesn't have to be at work. Similarly, some of the things that Callie was talking about in terms of breathing and the exercises where you tense up your body, I do that to help me go to sleep at night, because I struggle, with sleep. So I think there's all these things are kind of interchangeable. So anyway, I did that profiling with Callie for my profession, for work. It's been hugely beneficial. It's been beneficial for me in my personal life, and I've also used it with my team. And that's I've used it to help recruit, just to make sure that you are filling in and using, making sure that you've got a really balanced, harmonious team with with either, it doesn't have to be similar mindsets, but complementary mindsets and behaviors so that you're not all jarring against each other, or you've got a team that delivers against different things that you need. So that's been really interesting as well, to use. So we are offering that, as I think most of you know, as a prize for one lucky winner. And Hannah's going to tell us a little bit about what you need to do if you want to win that. And in addition, as a follow-up, Callie will then provide you with some personal sort of one-on-one coaching to discuss the profiling, the results, and then how to use that going forward to really empower yourself to realize your potential. And I think if I can leave that as that's the final thing that I think we're trying to achieve today, both Amandine and WellCrew, it's about giving you the tools and providing a service, help, support to really empower you, give you the power to be able to be the best version of yourselves personally and professionally. So good luck, and over to Hannah to explain a little bit about that. And thank you everybody again for joining.
Hello everyone, I'm on the screen now. So I don't know if you've already entered the competition yet. I haven't had a look at the entries, but if you still need to enter, it's on our Instagram post, the one with the bear, and it says Mental Health Awareness Week. And you just need to like that, follow both Amandine and WellCrew, and then share it to your story and comment, and then you'll be entered into the competition. And I think we'll probably do the draw to be announced next Friday. So you have a week to share it, tell your friends, etc.
Amazing. And then the other thing just to note, and I wrote it in the comments, was just that this session has been recorded. and a few people unfortunately weren't able to come, work commitments, etc. So we're going to be making it available on our websites, WellCrew and Amandine. And please, please, please